It is a different, I think, perspective in security where most solutions are very siloed and focused on one problem. We're we're trying to cover it, kind of on a broader, the vertical, the horizontal, not the verticals, and bringing everybody in, we'll integrate with everybody, everything a customer has. So they really have to, eventually have this single pane of glass of these are the issues, these are the cause of the issues, and this is how we reduce risk together. So that's the vision. We're not going to become a detection tool, as long as, we don't see a need for that. These tools are out there. We just need to integrate with them and help solve these problems.
Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Just sit back, relax, and learn from the leaders of today. It's a journey. Each one is different, unique, inspiring. Let's get started. 20-Minute Leaders is a proud supporter of Make-A-Wish Israel and Tech to Peace, and is in proud collaboration with Secret Chord Ventures, J Ventures, Riverside FM, Fusion VC, Birthright Excel, J Impact, Leap, Google for Startups, and Hippo, and in media partnership with CTech. Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. This one is about cybersecurity leadership with Merav Bahat, the CEO and co-founder of Dazz, who has spent her career creating category-leading technology products and building high-impact teams. Previously, Merav served as general manager for the cloud security global business at Microsoft and was also deputy CEO of Microsoft Israel R&D, overseeing more than 2,500 employees. Prior, she was product strategy group director for Microsoft's cloud and AI security business unit and chief of products and business development of Flash Networks. Merav has a Bachelor of Science in Industrial Management Engineering from the Technion and a Master of Business Administration from Ben-Gurion University, and served as a fellow in the Harvard Business School Kennedy School of Government program. As one of only a handful of female CEO founders in cybersecurity, Merav is focused on mentoring and empowering women and young leaders. Merav, you're such an inspiring figure in the ecosystem. As today you is the co-founder and CEO of Dazz, looking at cloud vulnerabilities, but a female executive pioneer in the cyberspace. It's not a secret that it's not all leaders are female leaders. We're not yet at a position where we have sort of this equality and that, especially in the executive field, and it's something that I would love to hear a little bit about your own experience. And I know that you're also excited about mentoring and working with other female leaders. And so beyond that, your work is just fascinating, working in a variety of companies either as an advisor or as an executive within Microsoft Israel, both in general manager domain, but also in the cloud domain, and then transitioning again to entrepreneurship with Dazz. So a lot to uncover, Merav, but really the bottom line question is, why do you do what you do? And so Merav, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you see, what your passions are and what you're excited about.
Yeah. So, I think, I'm very excited about what I do today. It's like tons of energy. We started the company about a year and a half ago. And since then, I think every day was more exciting than the other. Building and growing a company from zero. That was my passion. That was my dream. I actually didn't think it's possible for women to do that. I don't know why in my mind, but when I started to do that and I got the best co-founders, since then it was just an amazing experience. Yeah. So I'm motivated day by day by what we do.
Mm-hmm. Now you're started out with also the Technion, and you're an engineer by trade. Sort of, is this, did you anticipate this as a career trajectory that you're going to be an executive in technology roles and then starting your company? You're mentioning a little bit about the female aspect, but was this always the grand plan for Merav?
Yeah, no. So when I was a kid, I actually grew in the periphery of Israel. So I didn't really have any role models, any women founders, CEOs, anything like that. So to me, every step I dreamt for, of the next step. It wasn't 20 years ago, I was exactly, I knew what I was going to do. So that was a journey. And I think that's what I love in life, just, follow your passion and dream your dreams and dream bigger and try to execute them all. So I think I decided, or I started to think about starting my own company, actually when I was VP products at, different companies/networks. And I went a year to Harvard, for some more school. I came back. I went to Microsoft. I didn't start my own company, but since then it was like like a bug. Like I really wanted to do that and found the right team and to go execute my dream.
So Merav, take me back to sort of your own beginning of understanding that what you want to do is start a company. You're mentioning that it was back when you were vice president at another company. And what is sort of the trigger for you to go on this journey for yourself, for Merav?
Yeah, so I think, I was VP product in a company. And, I felt, very connected to what I did. But I was like, if I've done it from the beginning, I would have done it differently. So I always had the passion to actually start from fresh, get my own team, build a culture. There's a lot about the culture, about the people you work with, the problem you want to solve, and then execution. So I just thought that, starting fresh, starting from the beginning, I would do things differently. And again, a lot about the culture. So I think, that was a great opportunity, to start a company and recruit a team that you really, you feel that they're going to be your partners for the journey. Now we're 55 people, and I was actually interviewing each and every one of them, and I think that really important to get the culture fit.
Wow.
And to have the best people there. And I feel I continue doing it as long as I can. And it's about the team. Like if you have the right team, the passion to solve a big problem, that's changing. For us, it's like changing the world of security. And then together, it's an amazing journey. So that's what it takes.
So take me back a little bit to yourself, Merav, and if you're thinking through, what is really important for you right now in life, in the world, in your own vision, what are sort of the opportunities that you're creating around you? What does it come down to? Because you're dealing with fascinating technological feats, right? And definitely it's going to make a tremendous impact on a variety of organizations. Where does this all come from for you, Merav?
So I think, I felt that the problem, I've been doing security in Microsoft for 4.5 years, being part of the team that build the cloud security stack from zero, to like 2.5 billion now, then $10 billion of dollars, which is huge in such a short time.
Incredible.
But what I felt is like, security is kind of really focused on detections and alerting and showing you what's wrong, gives you a lot of visibility. But then I felt, talking to our customers, they were frustrated about the fact that the security score is never good and they're never really able to reduce the risk. And when you talk about cloud, and cloud is so easy, any attacks on the cloud could happen very fast. It's very easy to do that. Look for shell. Everybody can, could utilize or use this vulnerability to take your data. So I think that, helping our customers really reduce the risk and solve these problems, remediating those issues, and is one of the most important things in security. You cannot secure without really taking it all the way to fixing those issues that are, that's growing and growing, this backlog of issues, these, alerts that are off the charts, nobody take care of them. This is something that really, really need to focus on. And I think that security needs to, security products need to take the next level of let's help reduce the risk, not just show the risk.
I love it. Tell me a little bit about Dazz and the sort of the vision for Dazz, few years down the line, cloud vulnerabilities. How does this play into our ecosystem of either security products or more importantly, the application of this in the real world that we're living in and we're seeing evolve every day?
And so I think we have two things that are really important to us. One, as I said before, is reducing the risk. And the second thing is really focused on, remediation is by large, it's an organization. I think it's like it's even like, a collaboration problem. It's a problem of the security teams, but also a problem of the engineering. We're creating most of these issues and are also in charge of fixing them. So the way we look at things is trying to first, be, kind of bridge this gap between those teams and make sure that, security find it easier to address those issues, understand root causes, not just, take a lot of issues, a lot of alerts and throw them over the fence to the developers. And from the engineering side, to make it easier for them to care, they care about security, right? But to make it easy for them to, to create more secure products. So to us, it's more than just a product. It's actually like, a collaboration platform between security and engineering, and make security easy for everybody. So that's one thing. Second thing is when we look at cloud security, cloud remediation, cloud vulnerabilities, and also the pipeline. Everything, to us, everything starts in the pipeline. Everything starts in code. Like everything's, the cloud is going to be all, all applications are, and all infrastructure is, going to be coded at some point. So because code is kind of reusable, like, people using the same image, container in many applications, right? And they're using the same line of code in Terraforming, to spin up a lot of, VMs and what have you. So, and the code repos that are actually, kind of, everybody is not really writing code, is kind of taking, open source and libraries and all that. So eventually it's like a spaghetti of a lot of things, right? And everything starts, like it's like, just think about it, think of a river that is eventually gonna, all the water goes to the ocean. So you cannot just focus on production. You definitely need to look at the entire thing. And we don't have separation. We collect alerts from, left and right and production, pre-production, and the ability to kind of look at it as, the remediation cloud, like, put everything up there, do the correlation, deduplication of issues, and be able to figure out root causes and help security and engineers focus on the high priorities issues and help them do it quickly. So these are the two things. It's, bridging the gaps between the teams and also understanding that everything's becoming code, and that we need to not separate production, pre-production, and just look at it as a whole.
Incredible. And how are you positioning Daz into this ecosystem? Because there's a lot of different strategies to go about this. You could be creating a brand that is going to be working with every company. It could be a technology-first organization that has different channels that are business-wise interesting, but it's less of a brand base. Because when I look at Daz, I look at a very, very strong brand. And so I'm interested to hear how you're thinking about the positioning of this company long term, in a world that, while we, there's a lot of different players here, the world is shifting to code first on everything. And I completely love your analogies to the spaghetti and the rivers. That was awesome.
Thank you. So we're really ecosystem friendly. I think one of our strengths is the visibility, the entire pipeline code to production. Again, it's not just the pipeline pre-production, it's everything. And our ability to kind of map every resource in production to the code that generated it. And then we kind of integrate with all of the tooling out there. It could be like, cloud native solutions. It could be AppSec solutions. It could be, cloud CSPM, ZWP, all the upcoming players, and also, some of the older, stuff out there, and really connect to all of that and being able to correlate this data coming from all of them into actionable, problems that are solvable and actionable items. So obviously we're integrated with everybody. We're really ecosystem friendly. We even have some partnerships that are, even like a go-to-market based. So it is a different, I think, perspective in security where like, most solutions are very siloed and focusing on one problem. We're like, we're trying to cover it, kind of on a broader, like, the vertical, the horizontal, not the verticals, and bringing everybody in, we'll integrate with everybody, everything a customer has. So they really have to, eventually have this single pane of glass of these are the issues, these are the cause of the issues, and this is how we reduce risk together. So that's the vision. We're not going to become a detection tool, as long as, we don't see a need for that. These tools are out there. We just need to integrate with them and help solve these problems.
Interesting. So first of all, best of luck with Daz. From anybody taking a look on what you're doing, I think it looks so great, and it's having such a stellar team. I think is remarkable. Not just your team, but also the people that are backing Daz, which is a little bit from the world that I'm coming from. Those are some of the greatest thinkers in the cybersecurity space in the world, and so obviously you're positioned in a great place. I'm curious a little bit about your own personal, vision, because you're also a figure, right? I mean, and it's something that needs to be understood, that the way that you're leading this company, your own actions, your own leadership style, it's reflecting on a lot of different people around the world. And I think you're also open yourself to the idea that, also other female leaders may look at you for inspiration naturally, just because there aren't too many examples still today, which is very unfortunate. How do you think, how cognizant are you of this? Is this even something that you're thinking about as you're leading, or is this something that you're saying, yes, I know, but I don't need to be concerned with that myself?
Yeah. So I think, first, I really would love to see more female leaders, more female co-founders and founders and CEOs and of startups and bigger companies. I think it does start with the startup. If you grow the startup, you become a CEO of a bigger company. That's the name of the game for Israeli companies. I mean, I've been an executive in a bigger, a multinational, Microsoft. Mm-hmm. But I think that's being in Israel, and it's such a startup ecosystem. That's the way we should start.
Right.
That's the way we should. You should have more women, attract more women. So for me, when I look at it, it was really important that, at the core team of the engineering, I will have a woman. Now she's a team leader. I think it attracts more women to follow the team. And, we're not compromised on talent. We get the best talent, but the best talent that really, really, provides tons of credibility. And I think, good example for other women to follow. This is the start. If you're joining an early stage startup, you next day you can start your own company. So this is where we need to start, at the earlier stages. Second is, to me, when I started the company, there weren't any examples of, everybody said that women usually, the rounds are smaller than compared to men. So when I did the A round, I think it was the second largest at the time.
People should look at your Series A round. Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, it's okay, so women can definitely get a nice A round. So we've checked that. So I think, I do think a little bit about it, I want to be a good example. It creates some more stress, I would say. But I think it's also, to me, if I make it, to become a big company, a strong company, a strong example, and other female leaders will suppress that and be even bigger, larger, whatever, I would feel, honored, to be one of those.
Incredible. Well, it sounds like the journey starts off very authentically from your own experience, and both on the engineering front, but then also on the executive front, and having been, becoming a thought leader in this space and bringing on the right co-founders that complement you, partnering with some of the great partners that you have. And what I really love seeing is how strong the brand that you're building is. I think it reminds me of some of the other great examples of companies that became very, very large and understood that it's not enough to just build a great technology, and especially in the cyberspace, if you want to be differentiated and you want to build a long-lasting company, the brand and the trust that you're creating is just a significant piece of it. And obviously tying back at the end to the conversation about female leadership, which is definitely not the core of what you're doing, but I think it is important, because at the end, it's a mind-boggling question of, it's 2022. Why don't we have more female leaders starting cyber companies? When I had my team in the army, we had half of my team was female engineers, and honestly, they were much better than all of us were. So it's mind-boggling for me that still in 2022 we're talking about this topic, but it was interesting to hear your perspective and your own commitment. So, Merav, thank you very, very much. I appreciate your time. Have a safe flight to Boston. Thank you for taking the time to do this, and best of luck with Daz.
Thank you. And I really wish you have the chance to interview with more women, in the future. And thank you 100%. So much for the time. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.